Okay, so you're a billionaire, right? You got all of this wealth. What do you do with it? Do you spend it on a luxury cruise and see the world? Do you spend it on a nice and lovely mansion? If you have a gentle heart, which is rare in most cases, do you use the money to go to charities for the sick and wounded? If your answer was no and you decided to build a park that is filled with nothing but dinosaurs, to be honest, I ought to slap you in the back of the fucking head. I'm Demetrius, and welcome to the Brumakian podcast. This is an episodic review series where I can review anything, but not everything. That includes giant monster movies, both big and small, anime, and video games. This week is Jurassic Park. So, do you guys remember Steven Spielberg? After the successful release of Jaws in the summer of 1975, he went on to direct other films such as E.T. the Extraterrestrial in 1982, the two Indiana Jones films in 1984 and 89 respectively, and the movie Hook, which came out in 1991. Here, he's at it again. But how did this come about? Well, American author Michael Crichton, born in 1942 in Chicago, was busy making a novel about a story involving dinosaurs. Before that, he originally conceived the ideal screenplay about a graduate student who recreated dinosaurs. Before his novel, Jurassic Park, was even published, in October of 1989, it got the attention of Spielberg himself. The reason the director was so fascinated by it was because, in his words, it was really a credible look at how dinosaurs might someday be brought back alongside modern mankind, looking beyond just the simplicity of a monster movie. Crichton demanded a non-negotiable fee of $1.5 million for the film's rights and percentage in the gross. Many studios bid for the rights, such as Warner Brothers, Columbia Pictures, and 20th Century Fox, as it was called back then. But like Jaws, it was bought by Universal Pictures, who acquired the rights in May of 1990. Spielberg was granted permission to direct the film Schindler's List by President of Music Corporation of America, MCA, Universal's parent company at the time, Sid Sheinberg, on the condition that he also directed this film. Spielberg himself stated that by choosing a creature-driven thriller, it was going to be a sequel to Jaws, on land. And here's something that caught my attention. Spielberg cited the king of the monsters himself, Godzilla, as an inspiration for making this film. You see, he grew up watching Godzilla King of the Monsters, 1956 edition, and during production, he described the Kaiju King as the most masterful of all of the dinosaur movies because it made him and viewers believe it was really happening. He originally wanted to hire special effects director Bob Gurr for his work on the King Kong encounter at Universal Studios Hollywood. However, in hindsight, if he did that, the dinos would be too expensive to make and they would look unconvincing to the viewer's eyes. So he brought on a few people who were the best effects supervisors. Phil Tippett for the Go Motion dinosaur Longshot, Michael Lentieri for the on-set effects, Dennis Marin for the digital compositing, and famed effects master Stan Winston, who I've mentioned in my Terminator reviews, for the animatronics. And as far as the music goes, John Williams was brought in to compose the film. Now, you would expect that it was all smooth sailing from there, right? Well, no. Filming began on August 24th, 1992 on the Hawaiian island of Kauai. Not what you think. A few days later, on September 11th, the island was ravaged by the Category 4 hurricane Iniki. Now, you might be wondering, why is it called a hurricane and not a typhoon? Typhoons are generally created in the Northwest Pacific, while hurricanes are usually created in the North Atlantic and the Northeast Pacific. That is your science lesson for today. This storm, Hurricane Iniki, destroyed some of the set and delayed shooting for a whole day. But the cameraman did manage to film the storm while it was still going on. It proved useful for the film itself. Thank you, Mother Nature. Speaking of rain, or water in this instance, shooting was a frustrating experience when the animatronic T-Rex's foam rubber skin would be soaked in water, causing it to shake and quiver, like it had a common cold. Each time it did that, the crew had to dry it off with chamois, a type of porous leather, kind of like a towel. After months of filming, a few more weeks in post-production, and extensive marketing by Universal, Jurassic Park was released first on June 9th in the Uptown Theater in Washington, D.C., and nationwide on June 13th, 1993. And like Jaws, it dead gangbusters, becoming the highest grossing film at the time, replacing E.T., earning $914 million worldwide in its initial run. I say initial run because it saw some re-releases, most notably in the United Kingdom on September 23, 2011, and in 2013, the film's 20th anniversary, in 3D. And here is its plot synopsis according to Google. Omega, if you may.
In Steven Spielberg's massive blockbuster, Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Mr. Malcolm are among a select group chosen to tour an island theme park populated by dinosaurs created from prehistoric DNA. While the park's mastermind, billionaire John Hammond, assures everyone at the facility is safe, they find out otherwise when various ferocious predators break free and go on the hunt.
You know, I used that song back when I actually got started remastering my old reviews, beginning with episode 2. Man, time flies by, doesn't it? Anyhow, I wasn't born before 1993. I was born 5 years later, and I didn't see the film in full until I saw it on VHS. With that said, my God, doesn't hold up, for the most part. I will praise the story here for its pacing, setups, and payoffs, yet there is one scene that is completely unneeded. While I did read the book, I feel like the story here is much more engaging. Sure, there were some moments in the book that were completely left out of the movie altogether, but some of the things that the movie introduced, I did not mind at all. For example, the characters are much more charming in the film. Distinct personalities for each are very pleasing to the eyes and ears, even when they are running for survival. The highlight goes to Hammond. In the book, he's your typical greedy businessman, but here, he actually has an arc and goes in a complete opposite direction. Okay, I have to be honest, for the most part, the effects are fantastic, even in 4K. That's how I watched it. I say for the most part because there are some scenes that left me scratching my head. I'm sure that it looked great back in 1993, but not so much today. Stan Winston and others really nailed the dinos' designs, and they are accurate. For the time. Yeah, in recent years, scientists and others updated the shit out of these extinct animals, some of which would probably scar you for life. But at the time, they were accurate to the teeth and bones. And has there been any doubt about John Williams? The man is a genius. There's nothing more to say. Though the opening title sent a chill down my spine. Overall, Jurassic Park is a fantastic film. Yes, some of the effects don't hold up by today's standards, and they are extremely high, and most, if not all, of the dinosaurs' designs are outdated, but it's still a thrill to watch. Would I watch it again? Of course, but not immediately. And comparing it to its sequels, it's safe to say that Universal should have left it alone with only one. Well, Godzilla just called, and he said he has adopted a child. Again. I gotta go find some adoption papers. Until then, thank you all for watching/listening. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel for more of the Brumakian podcast. This has been Demetrius signing off. Be well, Stay safe and have a good day.